This is to all mothers or women who have undergone miscarriage, who has lost a pregnancy or has had a stillbirth, who has lost a baby in one way or the other. I want you to know that you're a strong woman. You're not alone. Trust me, I know exactly how you feel because I've been there before. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Jane Epechi. I create content around lifestyle, health, and events. In today's video, I'll be discussing how to deal with miscarriage. Miscarriage is the spontaneous or unplanned expulsion of a fetus from the womb before it is viable, before it can survive independently. In layman's terms, it's the loss of your baby before 20 weeks of gestation. Miscarriage can occur between 6 to 20 weeks of gestation. Sometimes, in very rare cases, it can occur before 6 weeks of gestation, that is around the woman's next period. The woman will see her period, not knowing she was pregnant and now miscarried, and then it comes as the period in very rare cases. The World Health Organization stated that about 15 to 25% of pregnancies will end in miscarriage. Now, I'm going to share tips that help me overcome this. I'd like you to know it's not your fault. It is nothing you have done, okay? Medically, the exact cause of miscarriage is not known. However, certain things can trigger it, and there are certain things that have been attributed to having miscarriage. Number one is excessive intake of alcohol, very strenuous exercise, previous history of miscarriage, and so on and so forth. But the main reason sometimes is as a result of chromosomal abnormalities. Now, the chromosomes carrying genes, hereditary genes in our body, could be abnormal, and this usually happens during fertilization. It's kind of like the body's way of expelling the fetus that wasn't formed properly. So let me give you a backstory. While I and my husband were courting, during the process of attending marriage classes, I remember after one of the classes we had a heart-to-heart talk, and we're like, there were so many things we discussed anyways before marriage, and one of them was to wait a year or two before having kids due to personal reasons, and we both agreed to that. Fast forward to after my wedding, after a month, we found out that I was pregnant. While at the hospital, the doctor was like, "Oh, congratulations, you're pregnant." And behind that smile, we were not really happy. But after some time, after a few days, we had to give ourselves some pep talk, and we're like, why are we ungrateful? I mean, we should be grateful to God, even if this wasn't our plan, because we know that some people have been waiting for this 10 years, 3 years, 15 years, even 20 years, and they don't have an issue. And God has blessed us with one, so why not be grateful? We eventually embraced that, and I was already getting used to being pregnant. I was getting used to something growing in my tummy. Fast forward to February 14, 2020, on Valentine's Day, I had a miscarriage. And trust me, it wasn't nice at all. Miscarriage can be very physically, mentally, and emotionally draining. So if you're watching this video and you've gone through this, I sympathize with you. This was me who didn't want to have a child in my first and second year of marriage, to now feeling so bad, so guilty. I was so sad. I kept telling God, I'm sorry I was ungrateful. I thought it was something I did, there was no, I surfed the internet countless times. I was asking my doctor, my gynecologist questions. What did I do? What have I done? What could have been the cause of this? There was nothing I didn't do. Okay, now this brings me to dealing with miscarriage. Very first tip I would give is grief. Okay, cry, let it out if you want to. Cry if you want to. Don't let anybody tell you how to grieve about you, because you just lost a whole human being. You just went through, your body went through something, physically, and you're going through something emotionally. Okay, there are 7 stages of grief: shock and denial, pain and guilt, anger, depression, upward turn, reconstruction and walking through, and then the last is acceptance and hope. I'm not going to go into details because that is not what this video is all about. Have you ever wondered that sometimes whenever you're worried or you leave something in your mind, your heart is so heavy, you're so burdened? But the moment you share it with someone, the moment you let it out, you see how free you are. You will feel light, very at ease with yourself and your body. Now, this brings me to my second tip. After you must have grieved and cried about your loss, rest. Your body has gone through something. Probably you must have undergone a D&C, a dilation and curettage. You must have been given drugs. Like in my case, I was given drugs and then told to come back and then do a scan. If it's still there, then I undergo a D&C. But luckily for me, the drugs expelled everything, because what I had was an incomplete abortion. Not necessarily an abortion, but it's termed an incomplete abortion in medical term, where some part of the tissue remains in the body, in the womb, and while some were expelled. So I was given drugs which helped with that, and then I was told to rest. Try as much as possible to rest. If it's possible to do away with your phone, try and do away with your phone. You can sleep, you can just stay and relax, just rest. Also, if you have a 9 to 5, you can take a leave, a week or 2, depending on how fast you can heal, both emotionally and physically. I didn't take so long, about a week or 2. I was physically okay per se, and also kind of at a good space with my mental health. The third tip I would say is spending quality time with your family and friends. This can help with bonding. Some people would like to spend time only with their partner or close family, some people with their friends. However way you choose to get to bond with them, it will take your mind off so many things. It will take your mind off your loss. They will make you happy. People who are genuinely happy for you, are genuinely concerned about you, spend time with them. A good support system matters, and it helps a lot. The fourth tip I would say is water. Yes, drink lots of water. Water will help rejuvenate you. It will help flush out everything from your system and make you will feel revived. Water is life, so try to take water. Another tip that helped me is prayers. This cannot be overemphasized. Okay, just pray to God. At this point, pray. This should have even been number 1 on my list. Pray to God for strength. Pray to God for healing. Pray to God to give you the strength to overcome this, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. Pray to God to give you that strength, and pray to God that He makes you always think about positive things, and then whenever He's ready and chooses to bless you, let the baby come. Pray for His grace. Pray for strength. The next tip is taking your drugs. If they prescribe a drug to you at the hospital, please try as much as possible to take it judiciously. The doctors know why they prescribe it. Do not skip a dosage. Try to take your drugs judiciously. Even after you finish taking your drugs, I would also recommend you take folic acid. Folic acid is really healthy for the bones and all of that, so try to take folic acid. I took mine for a period of I think 2 weeks, because my drug lasted for about a week. Next tip is music. Music is like a food to the soul. Like, there's this thing music does to the soul, to the mind. Once you listen to music, you just feel energized. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. So my go-to music then was gospel songs. I would play and listen to music. It's good for the soul. just listen to it. Now the next tip is watching comedy online. It will relieve you of the mental stress. You won't even remember any of that. I know all of this may take a gradual process. That is why my number one tip was to grieve about it before you can start taking on all these steps and tips that I've given. Just laugh away your sorrow. I remember when that happened, my husband's boss at the office, her birthday was coming up, and all I wanted to do was rest. Then to an extent I was strong. That's why I said, depending on how strong you are, I was okay, even though I was still bleeding, but I was okay. I just wanted to take something off my mind, and then I came for the birthday party. I was happy. I was reluctant to come. When I came back, I felt so happy. I ate a lot, you guys. I ate a lot. I was so happy. By the time I came back, I felt good. Next tip I'm going to share, I know some of us are guilty of it, but try as much as possible to stay away from too much browsing. Sometimes it can expose you to some things you don't want to see, and then it can trigger your emotions. So don't overthink it, basically. The next tip I'm going to state is to avoid strenuous exercises. Okay, this is not time to resume all your strenuous exercises or sexual activities immediately. Give your body time to rest. Medical practitioners will usually advise that before you can try for another baby, you have to wait for one cycle. Now, after you've had a miscarriage, sometimes it's difficult for your cycle to return back to normal. I had a miscarriage in February. By March or April, I started seeing my period. My cycle was back. Everything was back to normal. So if yours is like that, just wait till another cycle before you try. Also, it depends on how strong you are. I am not a doctor, so always consult your gynecologist before you can start trying for another baby. Depending on the stage of pregnancy, some people are advised to stay away for getting pregnant after a few months. So give your body time to rest. When you're taking, if you can afford it, please try and see a trained gynecologist. When I took in again, I insisted on seeing the gynecologist, and I was placed on progesterone injection. The injection really helped a lot. It helps to boost the pregnancy, the viability of the baby, so that the baby can survive. Of course, man proposes, but God disposes. Still put it in prayers, and of course, you would have a healthy pregnancy. While I was pregnant, all through, I was always praying, talking to my baby, laughing, playing with my baby, even though the baby was still in the womb. This really helps a lot. And keep a positive mindset. The last tip is keep a positive mindset. Have you ever wondered how you're always thinking of something and it never comes? Keep your mind positive. Don't think of it. It just comes. That's what happened to me. I wasn't even thinking of conceiving when my baby came. And look at him now, he's about 7 months old. As at the time of this video anyways, about 7 months old. So I wasn't thinking. Keep a positive mindset. Go about your activities normally. Always be happy. Remember to be strong. Always be prayerful. Now there's a bonus tip for you. Find the support group. It could be on Telegram, it could be on WhatsApp, it could be on Facebook, it could be on Instagram. Find the support group. Follow mommy groups. There's this group I follow on Instagram. Just find a support group where people who you share similar interests with can share from their points, and then you learn. If all these tips I have given seem abortive, then I think you need to see a therapist. Please see a professional therapist to take you through this journey. And I hope this video was helpful. I would like for the comment section to be interactive, share your experiences, and for people who have also undergone miscarriage, kindly share the tips that helped you bounce back. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.